Can't wait for you to love me. 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 I know you'll drive me crazy, but you'll still be my baby. Feels good knowing you won't leave me. Can't wait for you to be there.
Hello, dudes, dudettes, non-binaries, and everybody in between, as we are an inclusive podcast, and welcome back to Talks with Tosh. Hello, y'all. Thanks for coming back for another week. We are here in the studio. My apartment is coming together, and I'm feeling very at home here finally, except at night when I'm not used to having two stories in my own house. So like I lock my bedroom door at night, and I'm like a little bit, teeny bit paranoid at like the sounds outside, but it's just because I'm getting used to it. You know, I think I'm only on my third week here. So I'm just adjusting to the new environment and the new things that I'm not used to yet. But I mean, otherwise, I am thriving. I'm very happy having so much space, being able to have different parts of a house. Like, that's so crazy to me that I finally get to experience that. So I'm very happy, and I'm loving my studio setup, except for I need a table. Right now I'm using like a table extension to set my recording equipment on. So it's a little awkward, but you know, we'll get there one day at a time. Anyway, let's get started with the topic. Okay, so this week I wanted to touch on dating because holy cow, y'all, dating sucks these days as a single woman trying to thrive. I've had the worst luck, and for those of you who know me, you know that my dating life has been, you know, all like really long-term monogamy, and that was 10 years straight. I was in a 7-year relationship and then a 3-year relationship. And then after that, I've been single ever since. So ever since, 2020. Not to say I haven't been in love during that time. I definitely have been. And there was a lot of trauma involved. There was a lot of negative experiences during that time. But there was also a lot of learning and growing, which I'm very proud of. And I'm very happy to be comfortable being alone, to be excited to come home and have my own space and be okay with, just having me in my life and not having another person, not needing another person to feel complete. It's been such a journey. But while I have felt very good for a long time, yoga and friends and family and meditation and eating healthy, all of these things have saved my life. And all of these people have saved my life multiple times, which I know most can relate to. And I'm so grateful to have such a wonderful support system, people who love me and cherish me and my company. But to be really honest, I'm missing that connection with somebody. I'm sure a lot of you can relate or have related at one point in life or another. I've been feeling more sad lately. I've been feeling more, disconnected from the positivity of being single. I've worked really hard on getting to that point, and I've had a lot of years of loving being by myself and being completely okay. And I still am. Like, I want that clear. I'm still okay and happy and content by myself and know that I have built a beautiful life for me and, for my future. But I honestly, I don't give a shit what people say. I feel like something's missing, and I'm kind of tired of people trying to make it seem like if you want somebody in your life, then something's wrong and you need to figure out how to be alone and, deal with it. That's not healthy. You don't need someone to come. This kind of like hardcore, anti-man, pro-woman being on her own, which, by the way, I support. I love that women now have the choice. Whatever they want to do, whether they want to settle down and have a family or they want to travel the world forever and not give a fuck and do their thing. I love, and I'm so, so grateful to be in a society that's growing and we're learning to just let people live their lives. Who cares? But sometimes I will say that I do feel a little bit attacked when I talk about what I want, because I want the basics. I do. I think a lot of people do, and I think that's okay. I am somebody who, even though I've been happily single for so long, I know that that is something I want. I really want to find my partner in crime. I want to have that person want to travel with me, build a life with me, grow and support each other for the rest of our lives. I think most people want that. Not everybody, and I love that not everybody wants that. Sometimes I wish I was that way, where I didn't feel that incessant desire to find my person. Maybe life would be a little different, but I'm refusing to keep feeling shame about it. I feel like that's something I've kind of been wrestling with lately is there something wrong with me? Why do I want what, women have done for centuries? Why would I want that? But it's okay to want that. That's part of feminism. That's part of, being pro woman and just pro people, is everybody having the choice to do whatever they want to do. I eventually want to get married and be a stay-at-home mom. Like, basic as it gets, right? I've always wanted that ever since I was like 14, but I've gone through periods of, denial about it and trying to figure out my identity and who I really am outside of wanting to be a wife and a parent one day. And I have found that, and I'm doing really well. I'm a musician. I have a podcast now. I have my outlets. Yoga is a huge part of my life. It's kept me sane during so much, but I feel like I'm really tired of living selfishly, which is good, by the way, at some point in your life to live completely selfishly. And I think it is imperative for everybody to have that period in their life. And that's why being single at some point in your life is so important. And not everybody does that. And I think that sometimes it can be debilitating for people's self-esteem, for remembering what they really want out of life outside of their family. That can be hard. And I almost put myself in a position where I was going to do that because I'm somebody that needs to experience things. Nobody can tell me what to do. Nobody can tell me, oh, you don't want to do this. Trust me, I did it. Nope, I'm going to do it anyway. I got to find out for myself whether it's a good or bad decision. That's going to be me. If you know me, you know that. I don't care what you say. And both my parents, they were teen parents. So my whole life they were like, wait for kids, you do not need to rush this. And I was like, screw you guys. I know what I want. How dare you try to tell me what to do? And thank God I listened to them, because even though I know that I'm going to be a great mom one day, I'm so glad that I'm not yet. I'm still growing and learning and making stupid choices. And I'm almost 30, like I'm still not all the way ready for children. I mean, I'm sure no one all the way is, but being almost 30 and still feeling like I'd be a teen mom that's some wild shit. Well, after that little rant, let's get back to the topic at hand, dating. Okay, guys, while I've been going through this realization for sure of being like, okay, this is what I want. I want a partner in crime. Even though you guys know I'm bi, I do picture myself growing old with a man, having, my own children. Of course, if it didn't end up exactly that way because I couldn't have kids or he couldn't have kids, happy to see that, vision change, of course. But ideally, I would really love to have my own biological children. I've watched so many people in my life go through that beautiful journey, and it's something that I can see for myself, and it makes me excited. It makes me want that. So I know that's something that I eventually want. Thus why I'm trying to date. Y'all, again, the dating scene is trash. There's good people out there, and I know that my husband is out there. I know he's out there. I know he's looking for me too, whether it's right now or later. He's on his way. That's what my intro song is about. It's called To Whom It May Concern, and my stage name is Lara, by the way. Just a little shout out to my musician side of myself. That song is literally about, I'm so excited for you to come into my life one day. I've waited for you. I'm ready, whenever you're ready to show up and show me who you are and what you have to offer me, just like I would have to offer you. Like, let's go, baby. So I'm definitely excited for that. But it's been quite a different journey than I thought it was going to be. It's been really hard. I've had a lot of heartbreak, a lot of disappointment. I'd say that's the number one thing that I've felt over the last few years of being single. And even when I was with my partners before, because I didn't fully know who I was, therefore what I wanted in life. So I would kind of mesh and mold to the people I was dating at the time. And we were so young. Like my last boyfriend, I broke up when I was 25. We were so young. I was not even 25 yet. So we were super young when we even got together. And then the boyfriend before that was in high school and college. We were babies. So now I'm in an adult place where I'm like, okay, I've done the single thing for a long time. I've had fun. I've, been around the block. I've done the things that were, I guess, on my bucket list, you could say, as a single person and just as somebody without children. That those are things that I'm grateful I got to experience, but now I'm ready for that turn into the next part of my life. That's been really hard, dating in the life of 2024 and 23 and 22 and 21. It's been really hard. It's sad, and I've had a lot of people either not know what they want when we get together, and I'm pretty clear about what I want, and I've even been not fully clear, trying to play it cool and then like build to something, and even that gets messed up. Like there's no right way to be in dating these days, because people can lie to you, people can stretch the truth to a point where they're not fully lying, but it's like something manipulative. It's frustrating. And a lot of the time what it is I meet up with guys and I get to know them a little bit, and they want the same things as me, but they're either not ready in the moment, or I'm not the right one, or they think they want it and then they actually don't once they get down to the nitty gritty of, making he and I official, things like that. It's been frustrating. And most recently I had an experience that was not the worst I've ever experienced, but it was sad. It was somebody I was excited about. We had the same interests, the same kind of talents, which I had never really experienced before. Somebody who also sang, and I respected the work that he did. And I saw, I was just excited. I was telling my family about it, but that's what I do. And that's something that I learned like more recently. I have to stop doing. I've got to stop talking to my family about it, because it just makes it all the more hard to tell them later that it didn't work out. It would be really nice to just show up to the family one day and be like, hey, I met somebody and it's getting serious and here we go. And then it actually works out. Yeah, I'm waiting for that. But lately it's been a lot of, oh, this guy's really great. I'm so excited. And everyone's like, yay, great, perfect. Maybe this could be it. And then, a few weeks later, it's like, oh, just kidding. Never mind. I guess I had it wrong again. My gauge is off. I sometimes feel like my picker is broken, as I say. I don't know if that's really a thing or not. People tell me it's not. People can just lie and manipulate. And I'm a kind, empathetic person, so it's really easy to be manipulated, which is frustrating. And I've really tried to keep an eye on that. But people have really known how to hit at home and bring my trauma back and just say the things that I want to hear until they start acting differently than their actions are not matching their words. That is obviously a red flag, and I've learned over the last few years to watch for that very, very quickly. And being in therapy has helped me to hold myself accountable and to have her hold me accountable for when my boundaries are being dismissed. And this was another situation like that. This person that I was seeing was, we made each other excited. We were both singing together. We were thinking about, doing some songs together. He's an amazing musician. He was in a band, like all of these things. And I was like, oh, and he's a producer. This would be so sick, right? When we kind of started seeing each other, it was really fun. And I felt very safe with him, which was the first time I'd felt that in a long time, which makes it even more sad. But then we were moving forward, and he starts to just say things that make me excited about like the future, how he wants kids, how he wants to get married, how he has a big family, how like, all these things for the future he has planned. But then his life starts falling apart, which I thought was super weird. And I talked with one of my close friends about this later, and she's like, that's not a coincidence. That's an issue. If you meet somebody and they quit their job, need to find a new one, have to move out of their apartment because the rent goes up, That's all really big red flags. This is all within like 3 weeks of knowing this person. So it was super bizarre. And I was like, okay, that's a little weird, but you know what? I'm somebody who's kind and empathetic, and I try to see it from their point of view. He can't help, whatever. But then he started not texting me for like 2 or 3 days in a row. So here's the thing. I'm not somebody who is really up your ass and needs to be contacted all the time. When I have a partner, I don't like texting all day, every day. I actually think that's kind of annoying. I like the idea of asking about someone's day at the end of it, or saying good morning, or seeing each other at some point. But this person was not doing any of that. And then all of a sudden would just like text me and be like, hey, you want to go to dinner? And I was like, okay, I'm not liking that. So how can I set the boundary? And that's something that I have been really bad at in the past. There was someone that I was in love with over the last couple of years, and that was a whole disaster for another podcast. But from the beginning, there were red flags, and not even necessarily that they were red flags. He was just young and wasn't ready to be with somebody, and I chose to ignore those things. I can change him. And I refuse to do that now. I will never do that again. I know better. I know what to look for in those terms now. And this guy was kind of showing some of those signs, even though he was saying he wanted all those things. He could see it with me. We were talking about kids. Like, this was not a small thing. So to go from that on our dates to him not texting me for a few days was pissing me off. I'm like, these actions aren't matching the words. I'm not liking this. I'm going to set the boundary. So he takes me to dinner. He's like, I owe you a dinner. I'm sorry. I haven't been in close contact the last few days. It's just been so crazy. And I'm like, oh, okay. You know what? I'm going to hear him out because I'm frustrated and this isn't going to work if he keeps doing it. But maybe if I set a boundary, we'll see where it goes. We go to dinner. We talk. I tell him, I'm like, listen, you can't just not text for a few days. For me, that doesn't work. That just makes me feel like you're not putting in effort when I feel like I have to text you and initiate conversation every time. It doesn't feel good for me, and it's not going to work. So if that's how you are, then I need to know now. And he was like, I know I've been really MIA. I'm really sorry. I've had a lot going on. It's been stressful, school and work and whatever. And I was like, okay, so are you just not a texter, or what's the deal? And he said, yeah, I'm not really a big texter, but I mean, if I'm ever doing that again, call me. Just call me if I'm ever doing it again. Red flag. He's telling me to put in more of an effort when he is the one who needs to put in the effort. It's so clear. It does not matter. I don't give a fuck what you have going on. I don't care who you are. If you like somebody and you want to put in the effort to show them that you're thinking about them, that you care, that you want to move forward, whatever it is, you will do it. You will put in the effort. And he was not doing that. So I told him that. I was like, you can't do that. And then he's like, okay, I apologize. I really like you and I see this going somewhere, blah, 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 blah. So we go out that night. We have fun. He meets one of my friends. I think maybe it's going to go somewhere. I'm excited. I'm proud of myself for setting the boundary. Here we go, right? And then I think a day or two later, he texts me and he's just like, hey, just got out of school. How was your day? And then I text back an hour later and I was like, oh, my day was good, whatever. But I was annoyed again. I was like, he's doing it again. Like, this isn't working. Then he didn't respond again after that. I said, oh, had a good day, whatever. And then nothing for 4 days again. So now I'm like, that's it. I'm done. And this was last week. And so then I was with my friend at dinner and I ended up just blocking him at the table, not on the phone, but on social media. That was mostly for me. When I block people, it's usually because I don't want to see their things or be tempted to look at their things. And he was somebody whose material I was watching often because I loved his songs and his covers. So this was me setting a boundary for myself. You don't get to look at him anymore. And if he tries to get in contact with you, just don't even end it. Just don't respond. I shit you not. The second or minute after I blocked him, he texts me. And I was like, oh my God, this guy is playing games and I'm not here for it. He texts and was like, okay, so I'm moving out of my place. I have the U-Haul, which I asked him to update me on these things. and which was days ago. So it was cool to know that like a day later he was gonna so it was just ridiculous. So I read all that. He's like, oh, do you want to go to dinner on Monday? And then I was like, and I didn't respond because I could read that he was just kind of in a place in his life where he just wasn't ready for it. He also was kind of stringing me along, it felt like, trying to make me feel insecure by having no text from him and stuff, whether that was intentional or not. That's how it felt. And was expecting me to reply and to make the plans with him anyway, be on his schedule. And that was not okay. So yeah, I haven't texted him since. I haven't heard anything since, which I'm glad because there's no need. Clearly it wasn't going to go anywhere. But yeah, that was the most recent issue I've had with dating. It's not fun. I'm getting to a point where I'm kind of frustrated with how the dating scene has been. Unfortunately, I usually just meet people on dating apps these days because I don't really, like, I'll go out sometimes, but not all the time. I don't want to go out and party all the time anymore. I'm tired. I'm tired. I want to lay down and I want to have wine with my friends inside. Sometimes dinner's cool, but that's not how you meet people, at least not for me. It's harder for me that way because I'm trying to focus on the person I'm with, my friend or my family. It's not easy meeting people, but dating apps are really the main way these days to meet people. But it has not been a good experience. I have not met people that are worth my time on there. I just don't know what else to do. I'm wondering if you guys have any advice for me as the podcaster. Is anybody out there have anything to tell me about how they met their person, best ways that maybe you can date outside of dating apps? I would love to hear from you because honestly, it's been a little bit of a mess. There's been good parts. I've learned a lot. I've had fun. I've done the things that you're supposed to do when you're single, I suppose, but I'm really ready to meet that person and I want to find the right environment to be in to meet them. It's clear that a bar is not the place to meet people. I mean, maybe not always. Sometimes it can be, but so far not so good for me. So if you guys have anything that you can, tell little old me about what to do with her life in order to get to the place that she wants to be in life, I would greatly appreciate it. And I'm very excited to just eventually get to that next chapter. Now that I am in full acceptance of wanting that, I'm ready for it. I'm ready to I'm a universe believer. I'm a big proponent for the universe, and I'm excited that I'm ready to receive it. So now I'm just waiting for the universe to pop that guy in my life at the right time, the right person, and hope that it's smooth sailing because I'm so ready for it. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking about my dating life now and let you get on with your day. But yeah, go ahead and message me on Instagram, whether it's Talks with Tosh podcast. You can DM me there and I will post different questions that you can answer or topics, anything like that on there. And follow me for more updates, of course. Again, Talks with Tosh podcast. You can also email me at talkswithtoshpodcast@gmail.com, or you can even DM me at Imolara, Imolara, my main Instagram account, where I also post my music, and that is also my stage name as the musician that I am. But yes, please go ahead and give me some advice. Give a girl a break. She really needs some positive juju in her life from the people around her in terms of dating. I'm very happy in every other way, but I could really, really use some positivity in the dating field. So just get in those DMs and show me what's what. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next Thursday. Bye.